let's get back to what the right is doing in terms of trying to wave away more evidence as if we needed more. But just the amount of evidence is relentless of the problem we have with policing in this country. Again, we've gone over the various things. There are people who want to, I guess, theoretically completely all abolish the police. But there's also, really significant reforms that can happen that don't have to do with sensitivity training or whatnot, because that has, in the past been shown to really not have any impact on these systems of policing we have. We need to begin to cut down on what police's responsibility are in our society. There's no reason to send police to issue moving violation tickets any more than there would be to send police out to do parking tickets. The civil infraction, they shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't have that contact with the public. There's no reason to have them be responding to issues of someone who has emotional issues or mental issues. There's a whole host of things that we can do to cut back on what police do and use that savings to support other aspects of policing. But there is a desperate attempt by the right to pretend that this is just a bad apple situation here with the Memphis police. Here's Tim Pool weighing in, trying to do his best impersonation of Tucker Carlson.
But the Post-Millennial does report on how they lowered their standards. So this is the result of Defund the Police. This is the result of the attack on the police. I'm sorry, this is reality. This was not a case of white supremacy.
Pause. You know what's really amazing about this is, in addition, of course, Tim Pool is trying to make some type of argument this isn't a structural problem with policing, as if this is the only police department that's ever happened. But the dude doesn't even read the article that he is citing to support his claim. Because if he did, he would know that the reforms that he's talking about, there were 2 police who were hired under those reforms, but they took place prior to George Floyd and the protests. This was put into place by the Memphis Police Department. They lowered the academic standards, and 2 of the officers were hired on it. Does anybody think that had these officers, 3 of them apparently had higher academic standards, but does anybody think this was an issue of academic standards? Like, maybe if they had understood, they'd taken that other, accounting class, or if they had done that literature class, or whatever it was, that's why these cops ended up beating this guy to death. It's just absurd. It's absurd. But here's Tim Pool not even bothering to read the article that he's citing.
But the Post-Millennial does report on how they lowered their standards. So this is the result of Defund the Police. This is the result of the attack on the police. I'm sorry, this is reality. This was not a case of white supremacy. This was 5 black cops beating a black man to death. And of course, they're already trying to claim it's white supremacy. Okay, dude, this is your fault. You go after the police and say disband them, defund them, and all that stuff. I say accountability. I say probably need more funding for training, probably need more police officers, probably need community intervention units, more money, not less. Fix the machine. Don't burn it to the ground, because then you'll get this. But they caused the problem. Then they complain. We were right the whole time. No, dude, we hired these cops because you called this out. Now look where we are.
Yeah, that's what
you
was
all remember.
Tenet of defund was the not less college standard. Credentials. Yeah,
exactly. It's just absurd. There's no indication that the Memphis Police Department had $1 less than they did at any time anyways. And the idea that this is like a function of people saying that there's a structural problem with policing in this country that is just
It's insane.
It's so lazy.
This is the same crap that was happening before defund, where we're all these other names that we're learning, Philando Castile, like all these names. The same stuff was happening, and I mean, yeah, the conceit. We didn't defund the police really anywhere.
The reason that this is still happening is because national Democrats chose to instead think that because of the outrage following George Floyd's murder, that police would have just learned their lesson and seen, look, this could happen to you if you do this to somebody else, and substituted that for actual reform. And it is based on that same childish notion that these are just individuals acting outside of the structure of their institutions. And I mean, he's relying on the same premise there, Tim Pool, that a little more credentials, a little bit more academic education would have changed this outcome. They choose, I mean, one, they're just trying to deflect, but two, they choose to view this all through an anti-institutionalist lens and just as individuals, and that is designed to miss the entire problem.
Dan from Columbus says that the Memphis PD was so defunded, they offered $15,000 signing bonuses.
Oh, yeah.
Their cops. So, but that's Tim Pool's, best try. He's got a job to do, and it's basically Tucker Carlson in a beanie, and that's it. Good work though, if you can get it. Pays well.
Not on the beanie though.
It's just wild to me, like that. That is not only what the right and Republicans want to be messaged, but that's also like Joe Biden's position on cops.
That's what's infuriating.
Yep. You guys are winning. Your anger that it's all projection. That you guys got what you want, now you can handle it. No, this is the world you live in.
He said fund the police over and over again. Nothing changed. And so this is another lesson for Democrats. It doesn't matter how much you agree with their framing. Look at what they're going to say anyway. Then actually try to fill that vacuum with your own messaging and maybe change something.